Hey, vinyl community. This is Elliot, Lazy Dogs Records, and I want to introduce to you my daughter, Rainey Cruz. And this is my grand dog, Levi. Chester's outdoors. He is pouting for some reason. I don't know if Levi's getting too much attention or not, but and it's like heat index was what, Rainey?
103.
Was 103 outside, and he's decided he's going to go outside and stay. Okay, well, with apologies to Mazzy, Rainey has agreed to do a whack-a-mole, and this is a big dog here, isn't it?
All right.
Has agreed to do a whack-a-mole. She's going to pull them, and I'll talk about them, and she may talk about them a little bit as well. We had some technical difficulties. We did this one time, and couldn't get the microphone to work properly. So I've got 5 here I've already pulled, and I may talk about them as well, but we want to keep it true, you know, not cheat. Mazzy's always worried about people cheating when they do his whack-a-moles. So I'm going to let Rainey pull 5 records, and we will talk about them. All right, Rainey, see what you can come up with.
Oh.
Randomly pulling records. She's going to get one probably from each row there. And I've put a lot of records during the pandemic. I've cleaned a lot of records, and I've play graded a lot of records, and I've got about 500 I've put up on the shelf in the last 3 months or more. And, so who knows what she's going to pull. Now, if she pulls one that doesn't have a outer sleeve, it's one of my original collection in all likelihood. She has one that has the outer sleeve on it. That means it's one I've acquired in the last 5 years or so. Okay, you hold on to them and hand them to me one at a time. Hold them up so everybody can see them. All right, we know that one. That's Leon Russell, Carney. Great album here, and it's got my name on a little piece of tape down here. I did this all on all my records that I bought, you know, back in the 70s and when I was a teenager and in my 20s. So original collection. This is on MCA, and Leon Russell. We were just listening to Leon Russell in the car. She carried me to a doctor's appointment. Came in Friday and carried me to a doctor's appointment. And we listened to Spotify. I felt like I was a young person again listening to Spotify, because of course the young people, like Rainey, do Spotify. She teaches me about a lot of music I don't already know about, and I think she discovers a lot by what is it? The daily what?
Daily mix. The
daily mix. Y'all know more about how that stuff works than me. All right, Carney, a great album. Great album. There he is with his little camper there. And let's see, on MCA, and Carney, of course, is on here. Acid Annapolis. Let's see, what is the biggest? The Masquerade, great song. And Magic Mirror. I remember this album. This must be about 73 or so. I'll look. 72. So I was in the 7th or 8th grade, and my good friend David Lassiter introduced me to Leon Russell. We were listening to this album a lot. It's got Out in the Woods and Tightrope. This is just got it's got Queen of the Roller Derby. It's got Roller Derby on it that he wrote. Just a great album. Anybody that doesn't have any Leon Russell, Carney is a good place to start. But you can be. It's all great stuff. All right, so what else we got?
Another Leon.
Okay, another Leon. Okay, good. This is Leon Bridges. Good Thing. And he's a modern R&B artist, I guess. I think out of Texas. I've got 2 of his albums. This one didn't appeal to me as much. Is it colored vinyl on the blue side? No. It's on Columbia. This one is good, but it seemed a little slicker than I was hoping for. The other, which is a red and white cover album, I think I liked it right much better than I do this one. But I got to give it another play, give it a chance. My sister-in-law, your Aunt Donna, recommended Leon Bridges to me.
Mm-hmm.
My brother and sister-in-law are big music fans too. They get to go a lot of shows, or they did before the pandemic. Everything from Drive-By Truckers, Jackson Brown. They'll go to Charleston, Wilmington, JJ. Yeah, that's one they introduced me to too. Okay, what's the next one?
Al Green.
Oh yeah, show them up, put it up there so they can see it. Yep. Now that is the first Al Green album, and I think, and this is a reprint, a current one. Notice on the name, I don't believe he normally has the E at the end in green, but it's Backup Train. So you know this is one of the early ones. This is his first album, I believe, and this is re-released on Hotline Music Journal. Hotline, Bell Records is what it came out on originally, I guess. Year, I don't know, 65, 64, 65, something like that. A really good album. Love Al Green, great soul singer. And I picked it up, probably an Amazon buy or something like that, because I was just looking for some classic soul music, and I didn't have that much Al Green, so I got that. Thought that would be cool to have his original. Okay, what we got next? I can see it. Show it to him. Get it close. There you go. There he is, the man, Mr. Willie Nelson. We love Willie. She loves Willie. I think, was that one of the last concerts you went to?
Yeah, a couple years ago.
Where was he?
In Raleigh.
In Raleigh. Who else was that?
Sturgill Simpson.
Sturgill and Willie, and was Allison Krauss on that one?
We didn't see her.
But you didn't see her. Okay. Yeah. Got there a little late. Partied in the parking lot a little too long. Working. Okay. All right. So that's what I like to hear. Okay. And this is the family band, Willie's band. Malcolm and I went to see Willie, I think, on this tour. 1978, 79, something like that, in Greensboro. And it was a great show in Greensboro Coliseum. And toward the end of the show, it was a long show, and the crowd thinned out a little bit, and we worked our way down closer to the stage. They wouldn't let us do that until late in the show. Leon Russell was opening. We just did a Leon, didn't we? Leon was opening. No, I don't believe he opened. I think he just played in Willie's Willie Nelson and family in that band. But this has got his sister Bonnie on the piano, Paul English, his longtime drummer, Jody Payne on guitar, Chris Etheridge on bass, B. Spears on bass as well, and Mickey, Spanish words better than me, Raphael?
Raphael.
And Mickey, I knew it was Mickey, though. Raphael on the harmonica, long-time harmonica player for them. Great album. It's just got classic Willie tunes. Whiskey River, Stay a Little Longer, Funny How Time Slips Away, Crazy Nightlife. If You've Got the Money, Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys, I Can Get Off on You. And that's just side one, people. That's side one of this double record. So did I open it up? People like you to open them up. So there you go. Okay. And, that's a good one. King Curtis. And King Curtis is a sax man. And this is on Atco. I got this record in that collection from that elderly lady that lives, let me get my bearings straight, lives right over there near Arnold's Body Shop. I bought her collection of soul music. Quick little story. Her husband had wanted to do party DJs, home DJing. And evidently he had sent off up to New Jersey to a record warehouse or something and bought several boxes of 60s and 70s soul music. But unfortunately, he didn't live very long after that, and so they didn't get a chance to DJ much. So those records sat in her mobile home for, 40 years. And she gradually sold me all her records. It took me about 4 visits to her before she'd sell me 20 or 30 at a time. Finally, I got her to sell them all to me. It's got Theme from the Valley of the Dolls, uh, Soul Serenade, I Heard It Through the Grapevine, Sweet Inspiration, By the Time I Get to Phoenix. So, you know, your instrumentalists doing doing the hits of the day, King Curtis, and a lot of us are Allman Brothers fans. If I'm not mistaken, King Curtis was good friends with Dwayne Allman. And, you know, when they do the Muscle Shoals, Alabama recording, when he was recording playing guitar for different people, King Curtis played on a lot of those same sessions. So they were friends. Yeah. Okay. So that's our 5 that she just pulled. But let's quickly look at the 5 that we pulled when our whole video was ruined. Long John Baldry, and he's called Long John because he's about 6'7", 6'8". Rival Mick Fleetwood. Mick Fleetwood's about that tall too, believe it or not. And other really tall musicians. This could be a thread. Tall musicians. Ray Benson from Asleep at the Wheel is about 6'7" as well. But he's from England. Early blues inspiration. Discovered Rod Stewart. Who else? A lot of those played in the early blues bands, and when skiffle was coming up, and as a kind of a genre in England, and he was playing in the blues bands mainly. And this is Welcome to Club Casablanca, and the record label is Casablanca. And I just got this and cleaned this up fairly recently. Listened to it, and it's good. He's kind of a showman in a way on this, as well as you know, it's not just a blues guy sitting down and just playing the music. It's more putting on a show for the crowd and everything. And she also pulled Bill Haley and the Comets. This is a double record, and I believe this is an RCA Music Club Record Club edition. This too is one of my, it's got my name here at the bottom, so I know I have this. I've had this about 40 or more years, 40, 45 years. 2 records. It's not a gatefold though. And of course, we know Bill Haley and the Comets credited as maybe the first official rock and roll song with Rock Around the Clock. And did you watch? You never watched Happy Days, did you? No, that was more my time. But, you know, I think Happy Days, don't they open with Rock Around the Clock? It's got Shake, Rattle, and Roll on it. It's got all the Bill Haley and the Comets hits. Problem with Bill Haley was he was more like a middle-aged white guy, and so he didn't really fit the image for the young, rebellious rock star. But he was there. I think his band was originally like a Western swing, country Western swing, with R&B influence, and, you know, that kind of is what happened, how rock and roll got started. That sort of stuff all kind of coming together in a sound. Okay. And let's see, then present day album, Lark and Poe. These young ladies, they're just Randy, they're just a little bit older than you. I think like 29 and 30, 31. But they're out of Georgia, and the Lowell sisters, I believe, Megan and Jessica, I think it is. She plays, this is the older sister. I always thought of her as probably being the younger one, but she's the older one. She plays lap steel, and dobro, mainly electric, lap steel, dobro. And the other sister plays acoustic and electric guitar. Very much a blues-oriented rock band. They opened for Bob Seger on tour not too long ago. They opened for and played in Elvis Costello's band for a while. So they've got a lot of sideman work going too. And it's on their own record label. This is their most recent one. It's called Self-Made Man. And they've got their own record label. They got their thing, got their system down. And I think as I commented on the one that the video we didn't get to work, this is an album. I put together a vintage stereo for Rainey once she moved out of apartments and was in a house. And vintage Pioneer receiver and some nice speakers. my former a turntable I'd had for a long time, and I made a box of records. And this was one of the records. There was some essential albums that I wanted to make sure she had, and this was one of them. This is my copy from, again, there's my name, from a long, long time ago, 45 years ago or something. But John Prine. Now, what'd you say about this John Prine? Who's he look like?
Looks like Waylon Jennings.
Okay, he looks a little like Waylon, and I'll comment, I think, and maybe like his son Shooter, who's the big producer these days. This has got so many great songs on it. Sweet Revenge, and of course, title track, Please Don't Bury Me in That Cold, Cold Ground. Just chopped me up and passed me all around. Grandpa was a carpenter's on here. Christmas in Prison. I know somebody that was DJing public radio, something like a Sunday night show or something, and he said he got in trouble because it was the week before Christmas, you know, and he played. Put on John. He said, "Hey, there's a Christmas song from John Prine." He put on John Prine and played "Christmas in Prison," and it's got an ugly word or two. It's a kind of a downer song. You know, you can imagine how bad it would be in prison at Christmas time. But he got yelled at, I think, by this music director or something for playing that one. Okay, so John Prine, and finally, Rainey lives in Eastern North Carolina today, and out of Eastern North Carolina in the mid-70s emerged a band that is still playing a little bit today, however many years that's 25, 35, 45 years or so, and they're still playing some today, and that's Super Grit Cowboy Band. Now, this is the band that when we were in our late teens and in our 20s, we would follow them. We'd go see them in Raleigh, and then they'd play in Greenville or something. We'd ride to Greenville and go see them. We'd just travel around like, big fans going to see Super Grit. Now, this is from about 1983, and it's showing you decide for yourself, is that class or ass on there on the cover. A little cartoon drawing here. And the leader of this is Clyde Maddox. He's 83 now. He's still leading this band, among others. He's got several projects all the time. And that's Mike Kinsey. He's still with them, too. Plays the fiddle and tuba and harmonica and acoustic guitar and everything else. They call him 13. I don't know why. I've never asked, or I don't know if anybody knows why. But they had a almost hit on this. This is on their own label, Hood Swamp Records, which is somewhere near Kinston.
Right down there.
And it's got a mixture of covers and their own compositions. It's got She Is the Woman, which Curtis Wright wrote when he was in the band. Curtis Wright somehow came down from Pennsylvania and joined Super Grit, and he stayed with them for several years. A really good singer and songwriter. And eventually he moved to Nashville and became a fairly successful songwriter for other bands. He wrote some hits for Shenandoah, I believe, and a couple of other bands. And a latter-day version of Pure Prairie League, he was the singer for a latter-day version of Pure Prairie League, sang lead when Shenandoah's original lead singer left the band for a while. He had some major label records, usually a duet with one other songwriter, duet albums with one other songwriter, and not sure what he's up to now, but he was in Reba McEntire's band too at one time. But what else? It's got Clyde Maddox composition, Pretty Girls Never Travel in Pairs. And you can imagine that's a song about life on the road, I reckon. The Norman Blake song, Ginseng Sullivan. Alan Hicks wrote, he's the bass player here in this version of Super Grit, White Lines, and sings the lead on that one, I believe. Alan is a minister in Raleigh now. And he used to be the bass player for the David Allen Coe band. And then he left David Allen Coe because David Allen Coe's crazy. And he joined Super Grit for several years. And now he is serving the Lord.
Nice.
That is nice. Okay, well, Rainey, thank you for reluctantly agreeing to do the whack-a-mole, and apologies to Mazzy for stealing his whack-a-mole for just a few minutes here. We will leave you in reminding you to be kind to your neighbors, because
Everybody's your neighbor.
Bye-bye, everybody.